All right, this is Christopher at Starfest 2012, and I am extremely excited to be here with John Noble. Sir, thank you very much for joining us this year.
Thanks, Christopher.
It is an
It's an amazing event. I'd not been to one before, and the atmosphere is fantastic down there.
I'm glad you're having a good time. I hear that a lot from a lot of different celebs that come through. That they really find this unique in the convention circles.
Yes, it is. It's beautiful, and in a beautiful state too. So.
Yes, absolutely. Now, I wanted to ask you. Of course, through most of your career, you've definitely done acting, you've done film and screen, but a lot of stage work and everything. And I was wondering what inspired you to go in search of a regular role in a television series.
It was interesting. I did spend almost all my early career as a stage actor and director, and by the age of about 40, to be honest with you, I'd sort of accomplished most things that I was really keen to do as an actor and director, and then took this enormous punt to try out for film and television. I had to move cities. We had 3 small children. It was fortunate my wife was very supportive, and it was quite hard for a while. But then, I was like a new boy on the block. But then it opened up in Australia, and then it opened up internationally. So, but it was because, and certainly I had never thought of doing episodic television. I've done a lot of guest roles and recurrings, but this was a whole new ball game, and I found in the last 4 years that it's an area that I really probably prefer to any other.
Really? Now, that's something I wanted to ask you too, because I know a lot of times when it comes with the with plays, you're often doing multiple shows a day, and it can be very time consuming and very hard work and everything. Is it easier, or is it just a different kind of difficulty when it comes to the producing a television show?
Oh, it's much harder.
Yeah?
Much harder. The hours are, we would normally work 14 hours a day, and the show that I'm on, we produce 22 episodes a year, so there isn't a life outside of it, if you understand. But it's very fast, and it's very demanding, and everything, you'll get a script basically 2 days before you're shooting it. You don't rehearse, so it's all on the edge of your seat, right. Sort of the skin of your pants. But I like that. That suits my temperament.
Oh, that's good. It's fantastic. Now, early on with Fringe, Walter, the character, of course, was really was almost played kind of the comic relief early on. He was just kind of the wacky scientist that would occasionally say some pretty inappropriate things and everything. And then even by the end of the first season, there was a lot of stuff getting built up around Walter. Did you have any idea going into it that he would evolve into such a dynamic character?
Only in the sense that when J.J. Abrams cast Walter, he said, we have 3 leads in the show. Now, normally you have the two young and handsome ones. And we have those. He said, no, we have 3 leads. And that Walter's going to become the center point to the relationships going through. And that was his long-term plan, which has happened.
Oh, fantastic. That was something I really wanted to know. I just didn't know if it was something where the writers just, sometimes you hear about writers picking a character and just really enjoying them and starting to add and write.
They did that too.
Yeah.
It was very much a matter of them throwing things. And as I said earlier, everything is very fast. So they don't quite know how you're going to play things. And then when they saw that, I love challenges, and they would throw everything at me, and I would say, give me more. And I did say that to him quite often. And so eventually it left the door open for them to write pretty well whatever they wanted to, and I would have a go at it. So it was a very interesting, and they would say now, yes, we write Walter because of what John does with it, but it was, I know that JJ and the 3 writers, Roberto and Alex, had that in mind when they started it.
Well, talk about throwing you challenges. I mean, not only did they certainly evolve the character of Walter, suddenly you come up with Walter Knit. We've actually seen multiple versions of Walter.
Yes.
There's definitely some challenges involved with Fringe.
Well, good challenges, Yeah. I think Walter now, I haven't done the count, but I think it's over 10 versions. My wife tells me it's over 10. Just, sort of subtle versions of different time frames or different states of mind. And because I kind of like living on the edge, that pleases me. I certainly don't get a chance to get bored with him. In fact, last night's episode, there were 2 slightly different versions of him as well. So it keeps me terribly interested.
Does that ever give it a little bit difficult when you go? Like you said, it's very fast-paced, so do you have to kind of remind yourself, okay, which Walter am I this time?
Normally not, although beginning of season 4 was very tricky for me because it was a world where Walter was. He didn't have Peter. He didn't have a relationship to keep him sane or to make him more sane. He was a miserable man,
right?
And agoraphobic and had obsessive compulsive. Wasn't actually a happy man, and so I had to. And I created a series of sort of compulsive obsessive behaviours which he played out. And I did actually get my cameramen to say, remind me sometimes to do those. That was the only time, really. And they did on occasion say, John, remember that? Oh, God, thanks. It was just the way I'd handle a prop, or that I would walk in straight lines instead of in circles. That just the little things at the beginning.
Now, I'm sure by now have heard some of the frustration from fans that there has not been an Emmy nomination for John Noble. Do you feel any of that frustration yourself, or you try to kind of play it humble? And
I think it's a matter of playing it realistically. If anyone was going to get an Emmy, it would have been last year if I was going to get an Emmy, because the build-up was enormous. It was a season that suited me, and certainly I know Fox did all they could. And there was probably an enormous amount of surprise in the industry when I didn't get the nomination. But it's very hard to be nominated out of a genre show.
It is very difficult, unfortunately.
Well, that'll change in time, but you see, I would have thought also that Fringe, for its production values, which are truly amazing, would have been nominated, and it hasn't been. So, yes, I'm aware of it, and yes, I actually had to let it go, because otherwise it'll drag you down.
Yeah.
And so I made a conscious decision, because 3 years in a row people were saying, this guy should win it, this guy should win it, and then it didn't, and so finally I just said, no, I'm not engaged, and I'm not engaged this year.
Yeah, well, you definitely have the fans. I mean, if the fans could give you an Emmy, they would.
Thank you, and indeed the critics. It's certainly had the support of that. And looking ahead, I think not winning an Emmy is not going to hurt my career, judging on what the sort of offers I've been getting at the end of Fringe. But it would be nice if it was acknowledged, but I don't think it will be.
No, well,
we'll see.
Well, I'll continue to enjoy watching you on Fringe. John, thank you very much for sitting down with me.
Lovely to talk.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.